For thousands of years, mythology has stood at the heart of human understanding. Through myths, societies around the globe have conveyed their beliefs about the universe, shaped their moral codes, set social norms, and defined religious practices. Myths, which we can define as cultural and religious narratives, function as foundational structures. They establish the framework for a society's cosmology, values, and ethical guidelines. More than just tales of creation, myths serve as moral guides as well as psychological tools for exploring inner conflicts and life's biggest existential questions. Historically, mythology has been essential to both cultural and religious systems, providing the bedrock for society's worldview. Myths have directed religious practices, shaped rituals, and passed down universal themes and symbols that speak to the deepest layers of the human psyche. Through the generations, they've created cohesion and stability by embedding moral and social norms that unify society. Mythology has functioned on several levels, and today we'll explore it through three lenses: the cosmological, the moral, and the psychological, drawing on historical examples and research in the fields of history and religious studies. We can think of mythology as a collection of stories that serve as a cultural system, helping people understand the world and humanity's role within it. These myths act as symbolic mirrors of a society's collective consciousness, offering a way to comprehend the universe's vast complexities. Myths explain not only cosmic and divine phenomena, but also give societies tools to interpret their place in the cosmos, forming social hierarchies and norms that are integral to social order. Through this cultural lens, myths become more than stories. They are instructional guides for navigating the intricate relationships within the universe and within society. In ancient societies, myths served as essential structures that reinforced social order. In pre-modern cultures, mythology had a deeply religious role, explaining divine actions and their impact on human life while giving meaning to humanity's existential questions around life, death, and everything in between. Mythology, therefore, became a wellspring of moral and ethical values for individuals and communities alike, providing a set of ideals that people could live by. Mythology has been described as a guidebook, one that aids individuals and communities in navigating life and understanding the larger connections within it. Myths are not only religious stories, but serve as a society's moral and ethical compass. These narratives encode a society's most cherished values, establishing ideals that become the foundation of its moral and social order. In many societies, especially those before the written word, myths played a crucial role in passing down knowledge. Oral traditions carried myths from generation to generation, conveying a society's history, traditions, and cultural identity. In many ancient cultures, mythology acted as a system that not only explained natural phenomena, but also defined social hierarchies and political structures. Mythology, then, is more than a collection of stories. It is a cultural cornerstone upholding both spiritual beliefs and the stability of social order. Mythology endures as a powerful tool that links humanity to a shared past, a moral compass that guides present actions, and a way to understand life's mysteries. Far from mere stories, myths shape the way societies interpret the world, providing insights that are as relevant today as they were in the ancient past. The role of mythology may shift from one civilization to another, yet in every culture, myths serve similar fundamental purposes: to explain the origins of the world and humanity's place within it. In Greek mythology, for instance, tales of the Olympian gods weren't just stories. They were explanations of natural phenomena and human characteristics, expressed through narratives of gods and heroes. Greek myths captured and conveyed society's moral and social values, often using symbolism and allegory to portray human conflicts, virtues, and flaws. In ancient Egypt, mythology held an even more central place in society, intertwined with religious practices and the power of the pharaohs. Egyptian gods like Osiris and Isis were not only associated with concepts like death and rebirth, but they also upheld the pharaoh's divine right to rule. Egyptian myths provided the foundation for political legitimacy and religious ceremonies, ensuring that the social order was seen as part of a larger, sacred order. Norse mythology, especially prominent during the Viking Age in Scandinavia, presented creation as a cosmic struggle between order and chaos. Tales of Yggdrasil, the world tree, and Ragnarok, the end of the world, symbolized humanity's fate in an unpredictable and often violent world. These myths echoed the Norse view of life as cyclical and inevitably leading to destruction and rebirth, concepts that aligned with their warrior culture and understanding of life's impermanence. One of the earliest organized mythologies, Mesopotamian mythology, provided a framework for both religious and political order. Myths, such as Enuma Elish, weren't just cosmological explanations. They served as narratives that reinforced the power of kings and the priesthood. Here, myth functioned to consolidate political power, framing kingship as divinely sanctioned and deeply rooted in the cosmic order. At their core, myths are stories often containing supernatural or divine elements, created to explain essential aspects of the world. They function as collective narratives, binding societies together through a shared understanding of existence. Myths operate as social structures, giving order to the chaos of reality, and in doing so, they define moral boundaries and establish social hierarchies. They provide continuity and cohesion, weaving together past and present through a common set of values. Myths have a timeless quality, often operating as universal truths within the cultures that produce them. They express not only religious beliefs, but also collective values and norms. For example, creation myths in different cultures often do more than recount the beginning of the world. They outline humanity's responsibilities and its place relative to the divine and to nature. Myths frequently address the duality of good and evil, forming a moral foundation for many civilizations. In Greek mythology, the story of Prometheus, who defied the gods by stealing fire for humanity, reflects the tension between divine authority and human ambition. Similarly, the Norse myth of Ragnarok tells of the ultimate battle between gods and forces of chaos, symbolizing the universe's cyclical nature and the eternal struggle between order and chaos. Mythology across civilizations offers more than stories. It provides profound insights into human beliefs and values, serving as a cultural compass that guides societies through change, binds them through common understanding, and connects them to the mysteries of existence. Through these shared narratives, societies articulate their deepest beliefs about the world and humanity's place within it. Mythology can be divided into different categories, each addressing specific aspects of the world and human experience. These categories have distinct functions and are present across nearly all cultures, providing a lens through which societies have viewed their existence. First, we have cosmological myths, which focus on the creation of the world and the structure of the universe. These myths aim to explain how the world and cosmos came into being and where humanity fits within this vast system. Rooted in religious or cultural beliefs, cosmological myths explore some of life's most fundamental questions about existence. These myths don't merely tell a story of creation, they connect human existence to the cosmos, merging the sacred with the everyday. A classic example is the creation myth in Genesis, describing how God created the world in 6 days, establishing a foundation for the Christian worldview. This story not only details the beginnings of humanity, but also sets a cosmic order, placing God as the supreme creator and ruler of the universe. Similarly, Greek mythology recounts tales of chaos giving birth to Gaia and Uranus, whose union brings forth gods and humans. This myth reinforces a structure where gods govern the universe, and humans find their place within a divine hierarchy. Even modern scientific theories like the Big Bang offer a secular scientific view of the universe's creation, which some scholars suggest functions like a modern mythology. While based on empirical data, these theories shape our understanding of the universe and humanity's place within it, much like religious creation myths have done for centuries. Next, we encounter heroic myths, stories that center around the journey of a hero and their remarkable deeds. These myths often serve as moral examples, where the hero undertakes a transformative journey filled with trials and hardships. ultimately returning triumphant and bringing wisdom or gifts to society. The hero's journey has been analyzed as a universal pattern that illustrates cultural ideals of courage, wisdom, and morality. Examples of heroic myths abound, from the ancient epic of Gilgamesh to Homer's Odyssey, where protagonists embark on long journeys, confronting challenges that reveal cultural values and ideals. The hero's trials aren't just physical, they are moral and spiritual, reflecting the values a society holds dear. By following the hero's path, these stories provide society with models of resilience, sacrifice, and honor, ideals that transcend the individual and become community standards. The third category, Eschatological Myths, deals with the end of the world and the cycle of renewal. These myths explore final events that lead to the world's destruction, and often its rebirth. Eschatological myths reflect humanity's perennial fascination with endings and beginnings, capturing the belief that destruction is often followed by regeneration. A well-known example is the Norse myth of Ragnarok, where gods battle forces of chaos, resulting in the ultimate destruction of the world, only for it to be reborn. These tales offer a vision of life as cyclical, with periods of chaos and destruction giving way to new creation. This mythic view provides societies with a framework for understanding the inevitability of death and renewal, a cosmic rhythm that mirrors human experience and existence itself. The power of mythology lies not only in its specific stories, but in its universal themes that appear across civilizations and eras. Myths contain fundamental components, such as archetypes and symbols that mirror human experiences and reflect collective emotions. Archetypes like the hero, the trickster, the mother, and the gods are universal figures and patterns found in myths across cultures. These archetypes represent core aspects of human psychology and societal structure. They are seen as expressions of shared human experience, transcending time and space and reflecting humanity's collective consciousness. Symbolism is closely connected to archetypes, communicating complex ideas through images and metaphors. Light, for example, frequently symbolizes knowledge, divinity, or enlightenment, while darkness often represents chaos, death, or ignorance. These symbols are cultural codes embedded within myths, transcending the stories themselves and speaking to deeper existential questions. Creation stories form a fundamental part of many mythologies, not only explaining the origin of the world, but also conveying a culture's perception of order, chaos, and the power dynamics between gods and humans. These tales often depict a struggle between cosmic forces, through which the universe is formed and order is established. Classic examples include the Babylonian Enuma Elish, where the god Marduk conquers the chaos goddess Tiamat to create the earth, or the Norse myth of Ymir, where the world is crafted from a primordial giant's body. Mythology serves a profound purpose in transmitting ethical values and societal norms. Myths present characters that act as moral exemplars. Some are role models, while others serve as cautionary tales. They tell stories of bravery, virtue, sin, and punishment, often showing the right way to live. In Greek mythology, for instance, the story of Prometheus offers not only a tale of divine retribution, but also a lesson on the boundaries of human ambition. When Prometheus steals fire from the gods to give to humanity, he is punished. This narrative doesn't just speak to divine punishment, but warns against hubris and the dangers of defying divine authority. Another well-known example of myth's moral function is found in the Ten Commandments of Christianity, which, beyond their religious significance, have shaped the moral and legal codes of Western society for centuries. These commandments connect cosmic order with human ethics, where divine laws form the foundation of societal morals and social rules. We find similar ethical structures in other cultures. The Hindu text, the Bhagavad Gita, relays the myths of Krishna and the moral principles of dharma, or duty. Here, Krishna advises Arjuna on the importance of acting according to one's duty, emphasizing an ethical code that guides behavior and responsibilities in life. Such myths serve as a compass for right conduct and accountability, teaching that action is essential regardless of the outcome. Mythology often underpins religious rituals and ceremonies, creating a shared, collective experience of the divine within society. Many myths are retold through annual ceremonies that reenact essential mythological events, connecting the present with events of a sacred past. For instance, the Christian celebration of Easter commemorates Christ's death and resurrection, reenacted every year through rituals that connect believers with Jesus' sacrifice. In other cultures, ceremonies also serve as reenactments of mythological events. Ancient Egypt's annual festivals often centered around the myth of Osiris, a god whose death and rebirth represented the cyclical nature of life, marked by the yearly flooding of the Nile, which was vital for fertility. These rituals reinforced the connection between society and divine order, serving as a collective acknowledgement of the myth's enduring significance. From a psychological perspective, myths resonate deeply with the human psyche, engaging universal archetypes and symbolic structures. Myths are often reflections of the collective unconscious, where archetypes, such as the hero, the mother, and the trickster, appear as universal symbols across cultures. These stories allow individuals to connect with deeper layers of the psyche, using symbols and archetypes to process inner conflicts and existential questions. One of the most widely known interpretations of myths' psychological power is in the concept of the hero's journey. This archetypal pattern, found in stories from Mesopotamia's Epic of Gilgamesh to Homer's Odyssey, and even Buddha's Enlightenment, reflects an individual's journey toward self-discovery and personal growth. The hero's journey provides a framework for understanding one's own life path, symbolically portraying internal struggles and aspirations through the hero's trials. Myths also address collective fears and desires. Sigmund Freud saw myths as expressions of universal unconscious conflicts in human development, suggesting that myths can reflect humanity's deepest fears and desires toward authority, security, and autonomy. Mythology has a critical role in shaping humanity's worldview and establishing moral and social structures. For millennia, myths have been dynamic narratives that not only explain the origins of the universe, but also shape society's values, ethical guidelines, and worldview. Mythology offers explanations of cosmic origins, ethical instructions, and psychological insights that deeply influence both individual and societal perceptions of existence. As a cultural cornerstone, mythology creates a shared framework of beliefs and values, passed down through rituals and ceremonies across generations. Mythology's role extends beyond historical storytelling. It remains a potent force in the development of society and in humanity's understanding of itself, continually shaping cultural identity and self-awareness through timeless archetypes and powerful symbolic structures.